$16.10, starving time. The rats eat their corn. They eat dogs, cats, snakes, and there was cannibalism.
The land was swampy.
People ate their shoes.
They thought God abandoned them. The ship was wrecked by a hurricane.
Most of the men were spoiled gentlemen.
I'm the narrator.
I'm Reverend Waite.
I'm Captain George Percy.
I'm John Layden.
I'm Sir Thomas Gates.
The time is May 1610 in Jamestown, Virginia. After a terrible winter, which fewer than 60 settlers out of 500 had survived, the settlement had been on the edge of survival since it was founded in the spring of 1607. Most of the settlers were spoiled gentlemen, adventurers who were not prepared by personality or training for a life of extreme physical labor and privation. Only a few hard-working farmers, some servants, and occasionally craftsmen were scattered among the gentlemen. Sir Thomas Gates, the new governor, has just arrived in the settlement that is in ruins. He joins 3 men who are sitting in the ruins of a house. Captain George Percy is the acting governor. Reverend Waite and John Layden, a carpenter, are the other 2.
We've just arrived from England. Our ship was wrecked in a hurricane near Bermuda, and we had to spend several months there building 2 small vessels to get us here. This is not the settlement I expected. We heard that Jamestown was becoming prosperous. What has happened?
This has been a winter of terror and terrible sadness. I feel at times that we have been abandoned by God. We spend most of our time burying our dead. We are almost too weak to do a decent Christian job of it. We barely get them beneath the earth and say a few prayers.
At least they're mostly buried. Some have not been so fortunate that we're able to see you, Governor. But here are nothing to offer you. I hope you brought food. Our people are starving to death.
We've had a terrible time. Winter has been bitterly cold. So many men have been ill that many of the houses and parts of the forest faction have been used for firewood. This has been especially troublesome because the savages have determined to destroy us. We can't go outside the settlement without being attacked by a swarm of arrows fired from a dozen different hiding places.
Jamestown was a terrible land for a settlement in the first place. It is not easy to defend, and the chief of the local Indian tribe has determined to destroy us. When Captain Smith was here, we often were able to trade with the Indians for corn and other food, but no longer.
Where are all the golden riches we are told about?
The gold is in the full heads of the investors in England and our own gentlemen. They spent the entire summer last year digging up fool's gold and looking for gems and riches. It was the only work those worthless gentlemen did.
It was different when John Smith was governor. He made the rule. If you do not work, you do not eat. And he enforced this rule.
I took over when Captain Smith was wounded and left for England in October. We thought there was plenty of food in the settlement and easy hunting in the forest. But the Indians killed many of our hunters. The corn was quickly devoured, some of it by rats. Wild pigs and hens are in the forest, but we cannot get to them.
We've had terrible sickness too. The land is swampy, the drinking water is bad and not often fit for drinking. We've had typhoid fever, dysentery, and all other manner of illness. Most of the women and children here have died.
We have eaten everything we could. You will notice there are no dogs or cats. We have lunch and spread in the cook pots. We have eaten every form of snake and creature that has been unlucky enough to be seen. The few pigs and hens that were in the settlement were eaten by the gentlemen. They were not inclined to share either.
Many of us have eaten our boots and shoes, as you can plainly see. Our people are as nearly as barefoot as the Indians.
Many of us have. We don't even know what happened to some of our residents. Desperate for food, they went outside before it never returned. Either killed or captured by the natives. I don't know which would be worse. What shall we do?
I do not see any choice but to return to England. We can load your survivors on our 2 boats and hope we can make it back to England.
That is exactly what was done. On June 7, 1610, the settlers climbed aboard a ship and set off for England. They sailed only a short distance before they encountered a fleet of ships carrying 300 more settlers and a new governor. They returned to Jamestown, and this time they stuck it out.